Hello everyone, how we doing? Hope everyone had a great weekend. Hope everyone is now ready to smash the week and this new quarter. Now, it is the start of a new quarter, so make sure you've done your review of quarter two. Yeah, and take away any little lessons that you feel are going to be helping you moving forward. Right, moving forward to quarter three, make sure consistency is a big part, is a big focus in your day-to-day life. Yeah, make sure you're showing up every single day. Yeah, work on your craft every single day. Yeah, so today we're going to speak about liquidity. Right, we're going to dive a little bit deeper into it. Okay, understanding sweeps and what to do when price sweeps liquidity. Right, so without further ado, let's get into it. Now, just before I move on to the charts, let's understand this. Right, liquidity can be in the form of equal highs, trend line liquidity, structural liquidity, whatever it is. Right, but what we need to understand is once liquidity is swept here, okay, we need to understand that we need to trade away from it. Right, we need to trade away from it. Once buy side liquidity gets swept, trade towards sell side liquidity. Right, trade towards calls. Right, same in this example here. Right, we've got trend line liquidity building up, it gets swept. Right, and once we've confirmed that, right, you can potentially wait for reconfirmed entries from here, whatever it is. Right, but what the point is, trade away from the sweep and towards calls. So let's have a look at Euro USD. This is a trade that was executed on Friday, right? So the first of the month. And if we just literally look at this chart here, right? What we see here from a structural standpoint is price making lower lows, lower highs, and lower lows. Right? From a structural standpoint, we've broken structure, we've created this low, we're expecting a pullback, and now we're in that impulse phase. Right? We're expecting this low to get taken, right? From a H4 standpoint. Right? I'm not going to go higher than the H4 here. Now, let's focus really on liquidity on this video, right? Even if you look here, right, we swept liquidity. What do? We trade away from it. We trade towards calls. Yeah, and we come in here, we sweep liquidity again here, right? We sweep liquidity. What do? We trade away from it. We trade towards calls, right? If you look at it from a granular standpoint, even here we sweep liquidity, and what do? We trade away from it. Right, so understand this: when buy side liquidity gets swept, trade towards sell side, and when sell side gets swept, trade towards buy side. Right, so on basically Friday, we were basically Friday afternoon, right? It was this candle here, right, which continued on. We basically mitigated into this range supply. Right, now what we need to identify and understand is price is not always going to come to mitigate your refined POIs, right? It's not always going to come to mitigate your refined POI. So understand what happens, right? Understand if it has reacted to a range, and then what has it done after that, right? What has it done after that? So price reacted to this range H4 POI, right? And remember, our overall expectation order flow is for price to come and take out this week low, right? And remember, we've come into premium, we've met all our sort of guidelines, rules in terms of price. After an impulse, we've had that pullback into premium. We're waiting for that break of structure next, right? From an expectation order flow standpoint, here on the H4. Yeah. Now moving on to the M15. The M15 has actually had a break of structure to the upside. Yeah. Now it's important for us to ask, why did this happen? Why did this happen? Right. So after that breaking structure to the upside, we then seen a mitigation into this refinement. Okay, this is a refinement that I made, basically this candle here, right? It's a refinement that I made within the H4 range supply, right? So of course price didn't come into these refined zones, yeah? But we need to ask ourselves, why did price break structure here? Why did price break structure here, right? So it's simply to mitigate into this H4 supply, right? H4 supply range, right? From then, from an M15 standpoint, your expectation order flow is for that to happen, right? And which is very, very possible, right? That could happen. Now, we obviously don't know that this is going to happen, right? However, let's understand this now. Let's understand characteristics of price action. And we come into this POI in here, which is just about mitigated the EQ of this whole range, right? Now, after that, what happens? Well, price literally has no conviction, right, to go higher, right? There's no sort of intention to go higher. Very corrective price action here. Very, very corrective price action, right? And what do we see after that? Well, after that, we see all of this trendline liquidity gets swept. All of this trendline liquidity gets swept, right, into basically some sort of POI in here, right? But we're not focused on that for now, but we basically have all this liquidity being swept. And after the sweep, we follow that through with a change in character. With a change in character, right? That means internally now, right, we've switched back to bearish, right? So at that point, I'm thinking, right, potentially we could come into the 50% of this, right? Because this is now weak internally, and we can at least target this, right? And there's enough risk to reward from if I was to get in here to target this, right? Or even the 50% here. Now, obviously, price has now gone on to break structure, right? So clearly, this mitigation was simply to grab a few more orders from that H4 supply range and then continue lower, right? Now, obviously, like I said, we don't know that yet. We don't know that at that point. But when we sweep all of this liquidity and have a bearish change of character, so we've got an internal shift now, internal shift in market structure, we can at least assume that this is weak, and we can target these weak lows, right, internally, yeah, and come to the 50% of here, or perhaps even come to the extreme, yeah. So these are things that we need to understand, right? Where's price sweep and liquidity, right? And what do we do after the sweep? So after the sweep and after the change of character, I simply identified this POI, and I was looking to trade from in here. And we'll just speak about the entry model in a second. So just before moving on, guys, the breakdown for this trade was given out to the Discord. Now, we will speak about most of these things within the video here, but as I always say, make sure you guys journal. Make sure you journal, right? It's the only way you're going to get better. Yeah, understanding and learning from your winners, your losers, your break-evens, your missed trades. Keep learning. Keep learning, right? Now, I'm not going to drag this out, so let's get back to the video. So, guys, on to the 1 minute for your entry, right? Now, understand the same thing again and again and again, right? We've seen that sweep. We've seen that large sweep, right? This was that 15-minute sweep of all that liquidity, all that buy-side liquidity, followed by that 15-minute change of character, right? Then I identified two POIs, which I expect to hold, right? Expect to hold. Now, I'm not guessing. I want to see the same thing within that again, right? So again, what do we see in this POI? We see a sweep. We see a change of character. What do we do after we see a sweep? We trade away from it. Right? It's the same thing, guys. So if I just quickly jump to the 15-minute, right? And if we just focus in on this bit of price action, right? What I just showed you there on the 1 minute is the exact same as what just happened on the 15-minute, right? So we've seen the sweep, change of character, price comes back to mitigate, and off we go. We trade away from the sweep. Now, obviously, if you're taking that on the 15-minute without refinements, it's going to be a larger stop loss. That's all what it is, right? But it's the same thing, regardless of your time frames, right? You're trading away from your sweeps, right? Now, in terms of targets, like I mentioned, there was clear calls, right? There was that 15-minute weak low, weak internal low that you could have targeted, right? And even to that low, you would have had let's say 7.5%, right? To the extreme, you would have had about 17%, right? So understand, right? Once price sweeps liquidity, trade towards sell. So once price sweeps buy side liquidity, trade towards sell side liquidity, right? And once price sweeps sell side liquidity, trade towards buy side liquidity, right? Trade towards calls. Yeah. So guys, that's it for me today. I hope you guys took some sort of value from that video on sweeps and liquidity. Such a little concept, but it's very, very powerful when used properly. Yeah. Now, I know throughout the video I went into entries a little bit and internally weak structure. Now, I've done videos on that, so I will include that on here somewhere. Now, other than that, it's I hope everyone has a solid Q3. Yeah, just remember, show up every day, right? Make sure consistency is a huge part of your Q3, right? Showing up every day, right? Having a routine, right? And being consistent with it. Yeah. Now, as usual, guys, if you've got any further questions, just let me know. And if you like the content on this page, give it a like, give it a share. If you've not already done so, subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you on the next video.